Oh, hello! Well, I just finished this video for the double neck guitar, and one of the things the guitar needed right away was a complete setup. So, what better time to do a video on how to set up a guitar? Enjoy! Okay, a quick note on guitar setup that was definitely going to be a critical factor in this build. Setting up the necks to have the correct action and relief. Now, action is a more familiar term, and that's the height of the string over the fret. But the relief in the neck is how much the neck is actually bent. How straight is it when you're playing on it? If it's back bowed, then that's a problem. And if it's too much relief, if the neck is letting the strings pull the neck out of shape too much, then that's a problem too. So these are both Fender style necks, and the basic Fender standards apply. So just go to their website to get the adjustment information, and what it says is the action, that's what you adjust first, is the shape of the neck before you do anything else. Tune the strings up to relative pitch, and then of course set the proper set the bridge at the proper distance from the neck, roughly, so I know it's in range of the saddle adjustments being, correct when I actually go to do the intonation. But what we want to see is a relief of 0.010 of an inch, and to measure that I put a capo at the first fret and then hold the string down on the 17th fret and then push a gauge in. This is a thickness gauge. These are custom punched strips of metal that are about the right thicknesses, or various thicknesses. Now this isn't an imperial one, this is metric. So I don't want 0.010 of an inch. What I want is about 1/4 of a millimeter, or 0.0025 of a meter, whatever that works out to. So I don't have 5s, these are all like in 10 gradients, so I've got 20 and 30 here. So what I go for is the 30 drags under the string as I try and insert it under the fret, but the 20 just passes through underneath. You have to get it at just the right angle so you're not sort of screwing up your measurement. But anyway, that goes under without any friction. The 30 goes under with just a hair friction, just a bit. And if I go up to the 40 in this tool, then you can see the string rising up as I push the feeler gauge underneath it. So this guitar neck is set up with the correct relief, because it was already on a guitar before this one. So I've actually already set this up. I've already leveled the frets and everything fine there. So the next issue is string action. And what you're going for there is, let's see, 4/64, which is a 1/16 of an inch. And I got one of these string gauge tools. If you buy them from StewMac, they'd probably be manufactured better. I got this from China on eBay, and they didn't cut it properly, so the metric side is basically of zero use. You can probably see that the this gauge here doesn't go to the edge. They should have cut the steel differently, and that makes this side of it useless. But what I do have are, where'd they go? 1/64 of an inch, which is on this gauge here. So on the imperial side, I can either use this gauge, which tells me the thousandths of an inch, which is nice. It's a good gauge to use, as long as you're using the right one. It's a good visual gauge. Or you can use the sort of graduation marks, which is in 1/64 of an inch, not thousandths. So what I want is 4, which is this first numbered mark on there. I don't know if you can see that. But you hold that against the string, against the fret, and I'm getting on this right bang on 4 thousandths. So the test then is, if you've got the right action numerically, is are you getting a buzz on the fret? So you wind up, just keep plucking the strings at each fret, and I go up to about 15. And if I'm not hearing a buzz, then it's fine. If I really want to go for low action, then I just keep lowering it or straightening the neck until you get a buzz. If you get a buzz everywhere, you're too low. If you only get a buzz in one spot, then you've got a bad fret, and maybe that needs some attention. But this one's certainly okay for my style. I like to get used to having standard action, because if I set myself up to get used to super low action, then I find I can't play any other kind of guitars. Whereas this, if I can get used to this action, this higher action, trains me to deal with normal sort of guitars, if you like. If you buy a new guitar, typically the action's way too high, and this is a good way to that's a good way to get a guitar together cheaply. I've never bought an American or even Mexican Fender. I've only ever bought these overseas cheapo imports, or as you see I'm doing here, buying parts. The bass neck is going to be exactly the same procedure, except the numbers are slightly different. The relief on the neck is going to be 12 thousandths of an inch, which is the 0.30 millimeter on this metric tool. So I check it with the 30 and the 40. And the 40 will drag and the 30 will pass under it just with the, barely no friction at all. And the action is going to be, instead of 4 64ths across all strings, because these strings are so much thicker and heavier, it's going to be 5 64ths on the treble side, the high string, which is a G, and 6 64ths on the low E string. The next stage is intonation. Okay, to check intonation, what you need to do is first tune each string up to pitch, and then what I do, am I off screen? Yeah, I am. I touch the harmonic at the 12th. Obviously, you should have exactly the same measurement, and then I touch the string down, I fret the 12th, and then check it, and I can see there that my string is slightly sharp, and if it's slightly sharp, the distance is shorter than it should be. If it was flat, then the distance between where I'm fretting and the saddle is longer than it should be. So this being sharp, what I need to do is lengthen the string at this tension, and what I do is use, you have to use a really long screwdriver, not one that's short. The reason is that the angle that you're going to be coming at the bridge saddle adjustment screws is going to cause you to scratch the front of the guitar, or if you don't hit those screws straight, then you're going to strip the head of the screw, and that's just going to make a mess. Hit the low E adjustment, and I'm going to tighten righty tighty, lefty loosey. That's the ruling there. Just pull the saddle back a bit. That is going to make the string go sharp, which just means I have to adjust it. That's fine. Now, once again, 12th fret harmonic, and compare that to the 12th fret. And it's still sharp, so I'm going to have to move the bridge a little further back. Again, repeat the process until the bridge saddle is far enough back, in this case, that I have the same note when I'm fretting as when I use the harmonic note at the 12th fret. Effectively, I would get the same result. An E is an E, so I could compare it to the open string, to the 12th fret. They should be the same, but I like using absolutely the same frequency note, just so I know that there's no issue of variance in the quality of the tuner I'm using. So, same procedure applies across both necks. Once I have this thing done, I've already done the action and relief setup, so the intonation needs to be done now, and once that's complete, we're fully good. I haven't found any buzzes on either of these necks, so I think we're good to go. Hi there. Well, I've just finished this double neck guitar project. A complete setup. So what better time to do a guitar video about setup?